Hello YouTubers, today we're doing brakes on an '04 Honda Civic. First we're going to start jacking up the car. Then we're going to start taking the lug nuts off. Okay, now that we're here, what I like to use is a bit, looks like this. It's a regular Phillips screwdriver, and I attach it to a ratchet like so. I'm able to take these out. Sometimes these are a little tough. It comes out like so. So those screws, they actually line up the rotor here on the axle hub assembly. And when you mount this back together, it'll align that disc on there. Went ahead and attached the C-clamp on here. Goes on the pad here, right in the center, and in the back of the assembly. And what that's doing is it's compressing it, so you're able to pull the old one out. And also, when the new pads are much thicker than the old ones, it gives you room. Now I'm taking off the screws that are holding on this caliper. So these are their tools. We're just going to go ahead and move this aside. So now I'm going to take out the bolts here for this assembly that's holding on the pads. Let's see, the baby's in there. That's the frame that holds pads in place. It's a little hot. So here's the reasons why I take this thing apart. It's like we have defective metal here. So I'm going to just take these pads out of here in the frame. I'm going to take these clips out of there. And we're going to clean this frame up with all the rust and stuff that's on there. On both sides. Don't be. Now we're going to clean up this bracket here best we can with the wire wheel, where that clip fits in. Okay, so as you can see here, I got it back in the frame, and the newer clips, they didn't fit correctly, but you want to make sure you have movement here so that these brakes, they don't bind up on you and then you just wear out your pads. So, you know, sometimes you gotta clean up in here real good, hit it with the wire wheel, or maybe even grind off the paint, because some of these newer ones, like these, are ceramics. They try to make them last longer. Well, they bind up with that stuff, so you clean it off. So we're gonna put a new rotor on there and make sure that the, what do you want to call it, the dimple end fits in. And I just finger tighten them, so in the future they don't really hold it, they just align it. So when you put your rotor on there, it's straight on the axle. So now I'm going to just remount the frame. So I went ahead and inserted the pads. Now this is what's key. Make sure that these are able to slide in there. If they don't slide, then you're going to have a problem and it'll bind up on you. So now I'm installing the caliper itself. I'm going to tighten those down by hand. Make sure it's snug. So that's it, YouTubers. Everything's back together. I'm going to go ahead and tighten this down. And you're good to go. Make sure you pump up the brakes and check the fluid. That's just one side. Make sure you do both fronts at the same time when you're doing